Recording. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our virtual art break. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are thrilled today to be joined by the Connecting Chords Music Festival. Betsy Start will be presenting about that, and she will tell you all about it. I won't steal her presentation. But before I get into that, I'm just going to go ahead and do some very quick KIA information for things that are coming up. So first off, this Thursday is the Kazoo 48 Film Festival. Local filmmakers who have been creating films, it will premiere on the KIA's YouTube. So that will be 6:30 on Thursday. And you can go to our website, our YouTube website rather, to favorite us, and it will give you a reminder to watch, and that will only be on for 24 hours. So if you want to watch the Kazoo 48 Film Festival, you need to do it between Thursday and Friday of this week. And then next week, we have a book discussion called Stoned. It's about, how jewelry and precious stones have helped shape the world, basically. And the discussion leader is Meg Tang. That should be on the KIA's Book Your Tickets button. You can also email our librarian for more information. Our librarian's name is Alyssa Seeger, and you can find her information on the staff section of our website at www.kiarts.org. Also next week is the public curator talk on October 23rd. We are going to have a talk with Adriana Ospina. She is the curator for Cultural Encounters, Artists of the Asian Diaspora in Latin America and the Caribbean from 1945 to present. And then very excitingly, we are opening that exhibition on October 24th. It will be the entire upper level, and we are really thrilled about that. And that is all I have to say, so I'm going to turn it over to Betsy.
Okay, well, thank you. And I hope my connection will keep solid for me, so you guys can hear all I have to say. I am the director of the Michigan Festival of Sacred Music, and we present the Connecting Chords Music Festival. And this year, normally what we do is we have concerts in November and October, and sort of more traditional events. And this year, back in June, when we finally stopped talking about, well, when do you think we can have a concert? We decided, well, we just have to not think about that and think about what else can we do. And this, it was actually really kind of freeing and fun. Some of the things we've come up with. And we also have here involved Eric Schmidt, who is our marketing and general technical guru. And he has a slide just to thank our sponsors. And I think, Eric, can you share your screen and put that up? Okay, and so what we started thinking about is we didn't want to just stream. And so again, these are our sponsors for the festival. We didn't want to just stream things. We thought we wanted to find ways to have shared musical experiences still somehow. And we also wanted to redirect our funds rather than paying outside artists to stream, to try and find ways to keep that money in the community and pay our area musicians and artists who are really wonderful. We've got lots of great resources in this city. So we started in just a brief overview of what we've done thus far. In August, we have been contacted by Rohan Krishnamurthy, who presented a wonderful concert last festival, live in-person concert with Raghunder, South Indian drummer. Rohan plays mridangam, and Raghunder plays violin, Hindustani musician. So bringing together those two types of traditional Indian music, and it's an amazing concert. And they decided they wanted to release a recording of that, EP of that. And once they had done all the studio work on it, we had this Zoom back at the end of August where we talked to them about the whole project and bringing in the priests to show the chants that went with the music that they then created. So that was one of our events, a little live chat with a little snippets of that music that is now available. You can Google Rohan and find out how to get that. Then we decided we were talking to the Nature Center, and we've always done something at the Nature Center, but it's always been indoors, usually in October or November. So we decided to try and do something early while the weather was nice, and this was September 13th. And we had 5 different artists groups at the Nature Center out in the Arboretum area, and everybody was masked and socially distanced. And we had the Bahar Ensemble. We thought about how music migrates to various places, just like birds do. This would have been a weekend that the Nature Center would have been doing a special on migratory animals. So we had music that was from traditional Arabic music with Bahar Ensemble. We had Scandinavian music with Norse Code. That's Karen and David Code. And we had African music, Ugandan music with Samuel Malangira, and performing also with Carolyn Keeble. Sid Ellis Jr., Sid Ellis II, was also there as a drummer and storyteller. And then we also had Hazel Tree, which is Celtic and roots music. So those were all at different locations in the Arboretum area. People just kind of wandered from place to place, had some brought chairs to sit and listen. And it was just great 2 hours of music and absolutely gorgeous weather. We couldn't have had a better time. And I wanted to do it right away the next week. It was so much fun. But and these are just, there's Hazel Tree, and that's Carolyn with her back to you, and Samuel over by the barn in the Arboretum. And I think Eric might have a little bit of video of them performing. Yeah, and that was a pretty lively area. I actually had to go over, and when it got to be close to 5 o'clock, you know, tone it down a bit. Everybody's dancing and having too much fun, and we'll never get them out. So they ended up playing something a little bit more low key to wind us down. Okay, so those are the things that have happened. Now, one of the things that has gotten us involved with the KIA, which is a wonderful project, was another idea of how to share music in an unusual setting. And the plan was to have commission area musicians create recordings, 1 to 2 minute long, of original music that then could be accessed while you see the exhibit. And this is for the Unveiling American Genius exhibit. So this could be accessed on your phone or whatever other personal listening device you have, and using earbuds, of course, so you're not disturbing others, and only 1 to 2 minutes long, so that it's about the amount of time you might spend looking at an artwork in the gallery. And the musicians we commissioned, we asked them each to do two works. So they picked 2 works from thumbnail pictures that we had on a little private website for them to look at. And you'll notice me in there under my my full name. This was something the board did behind my back. They decided, I'm a composer, musician as well, they wanted to have me in there too. So that was a behind my back decision, which I enjoyed because I thought this was so cool too. I'm glad I was able to participate. And we have some examples from this. And again, Eric has some good slides from this, and I'm going to try and access quickly the statements that the artists made. So this first one that should be up is Eldon Kelly's, one of his choices. And this is in May, work by Alfred Jurgens. And Eldon says, and just as an aside, we wanted the musicians to also create artist statements so we could fully appreciate what their music that you're hearing such a short segment of, you know, what was the vision that the musician had while responding to these artworks. So Eldon's notes here say that echo the springtime colors and soft warm textures present in this gorgeous painting. The setting for this music is A major, one of the brighter tone centers, which seeks to capture the sunlight and blossoming of the May day depicted in this work. I think that's enough of an overview, I think, of his statement. He gets on with some talking about the chord shifts that he creates, but he's really, it's an impressionistic type of piano work. So maybe we can hear that, Eric. Okay, so that was one of Eldon Kelly's contributions to this. And actually, these pieces are also amazing and varied. That we're looking at the possibility of, with the musicians' interest, expanding these works and sort of creating an album from this project. Because writing a 1 to 2 minute piece is quite a challenge, and sometimes you just have these incredible ideas you would like to expand on. And I think maybe just so we can get through more of them, Eric, if we could maybe limit what we play of it for to a more closer to a minute, I think. The next one that we have, and honestly, I had Eric pick these because I said, you know, they're all so good. I just don't want to be part of that, of what we share today. So this is kind of an arbitrary smattering of what we have available. Okay, so this is Rufus Ferguson's, and in his statement he says, American Woman, Columbia, which is this Tylon Sawyer work, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, says this instantly brings a level of pride, pain, and fear my awareness of being a Black person in America. The music composed for this particular piece utilizes a toggle between minor and major tonalities that personifies the Black experience in America. The end of the piece, which we might not get to, has a repeated motive over an array of moving and evolving chord types and qualities. And this stands as an example of the never-changing injustice inside an ever-changing and evolving America. Okay, I just got my technical instructions to mute my mic, so hopefully the audio will be better in the future when, when I'm not speaking. Now our next piece here is by Ashley. The music is by Ashley Banneman, and her artistic statement on this is very interesting. She says, historians guess that the smiling figure, whose source is unknown, either represents the god of dance and joy or the dead victims from a sacrificial ceremony. She says, what a dichotomy to choose from. And isn't that just like life sometimes? Things can be interpreted either way, and only you get to decide if it is good, bad, or neither. I decided to choose joy for this piece because smiling is contagious, and I could feel the ceramic smile making me smile. I began my piece copying his face, which makes a very forward, bright sound and making a musical laugh. Because laughing is contagious, others are then layered in laughing with me, and it rises into a whole circle of singers contributing to the energy shift into the communal joyous well-being. Okay, so that was one of Ashley's selections. And then we are looking at a piece by that Helen Yee picked, this Miriam Shapiro work, The Square Root of Paradise. And in this, if I look for her statement here, she says, at first glance, this work appeared to be a carpet of flowers emerging from the ether. I saw an otherworldly garden of paradise with flowers borrowed from different aesthetic forms, commingling with essence or energy, which to me were the connecting dots, the spirit and hand of the artist. I set down my initial musical ideas quickly and intuitively using both violin and erhu, which is the Chinese violin, and then started the work of arranging and rearranging the elements and adding electronic effects in a process much like making a collage. So in this, we see the musician really just responding very intuitively to the effect that the artwork has on her, just giving overall impressions that turn into music. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of a cat interruption here, but the next work that we pulled to listen to is Monica Washington Padula's response to Displaced People by Ulysses Marshall. And in her statement on this, she says, as someone able to trace an African ancestral lineage back to the early African-American communities in the Virginias and Texas, this piece was poignant in reminding me that many African-Americans carry memories in their DNA of the overwhelming non-consensual circumstances that marked our presence on this land. To pass from our ancestral lands with our indigenous heritages over water, with many lost to the water, and to be brought to another indigenous land is a concept that I channeled. The use of traditional percussive instruments like the djembe, oh boy, iwe igan, Anishinaabe language for hand drum, and the gourd shaker were needed. Inspiration for the passage music was heavily inspired by portions of the visual album Black is King by Beyonce Knowles Carter, and a reference to the spiritual No More Auction Block is also included. And she also asked to please take a moment to pay respect to the historical events that represented music. Okay, thanks. And I'm just now seeing the comment that Jessica, our host, had said that maybe we could listen to the full items, full musical selections. But we have one more queued up, and believe it or not, the musician responsible for this is actually in attendance here, Lori. So we have the Egyptian Blue Jazz Bowl with flared rim. And this is by Victor Schreckengost and musician Lori Jarsky. I think of her as a cellist. Of course, I'm a cellist, so that resonates. But she, in this piece, is playing guitar. And her statement says, the Egyptian Blue Jazz Bowl piece was the first artwork I chose for this project. In part, I chose the bowl for the intimate connection I felt, as if experiencing the vibe of the 1920s New York jazz scene in the now. I almost felt that I could get inside the bowl and hear the music, as if putting my ear to a conch shell and the music would be there. I also chose the Blue Jazz Bowl because I had not yet composed jazz music and had been thinking about writing in that genre for a while. In this piece, I aimed to start with typical jazz-like expectations for the listener, and then offered a few twists with the harmonies and rhythms I chose. The middle section exploits one of my favorite chord voicings with artificial harmonic treatment. This technique requires the player to make the chord voicing with the left hand while simultaneously touching a nodal point with the right hand, index finger, and plucking with the right hand thumb. Originally, the harmonic section was written solely with harmonics. I then decided to do echoes back and forth between harmonics and normally plucked strings. I had planned to include cello and percussion in this piece, and then thought better of it. The solo guitar and the details of the harmonic section spoke succinctly to the intimate quality I sensed from the solitary bowl. Finally, in the louder section near the end, I aimed to express the dynamic, vibrant energy from the omnificent blueness of the bowl. And Eric, before you play it, I was just going to comment that with my two pieces I selected, again, there was one where I was going to layer cello sounds, and then I thought, no, this is just such a, I picked Hoku. This is just such a single object with a single image of what it comes from, that just an acoustic instrument just seemed right. So I can totally relate to that decision to, just one person playing one instrument is enough for this. So yes, let's hear Lori's piece. Okay, cool. Thank you, Lori. And just a reminder, since we had 8 musicians each doing 2 works, there are 16 musical compositions total that are associated with this Unveiling American Genius exhibit. And we certainly encourage everyone to, go to the KIA and experience this wonderful exhibit. It was really interesting picking our selections because there are just so many cool pieces in this exhibit. It's organized in a very unusual way, and it's just a very, very cool exhibit. So do get yourself over there to see that. Okay, the next thing we have up here is the Autumn Journey. You'll notice Rohan Krishnamurthy here again. Now, Rohan is a Kalamazoo native and festival favorite, and sort of a natural when we started thinking about someone who could put together a new piece for us that would be 40 minutes long and do this and provide this for us in fairly short notice. So the idea initially was, why not drive to Lake Michigan, have a soundtrack for driving to Lake Michigan and seeing the sunset? And then thinking about that and thinking about, maybe everybody doesn't want to be driving, and we certainly don't want everyone driving at the same time. We thought that, well, drive anywhere, see the autumn colors. And then I participated in a virtual run with the Elgin Symphony, and I thought, well, why not run? So it's become Autumn Journey, Choose Your Path. So if you want to walk, run, bike, drive somewhere, drive nowhere, sit and just listen, there's a 40-minute soundtrack that Rohan has created, which is a free download from our website right now. And we're going to keep it available into November. And the idea is we just love to hear back from people via social media or to our website. Just let us know where you went, take a picture, tell us how many miles you covered, and we would going to kind of keep a running tally of the miles just for kicks. And also for those who respond, we're going to send a little thank you gift, which we're still working on, but it's something that will not be expensive to mail. So no coffee cups or anything like that. Okay, so that is coming up, and I think, Eric, do you have a bit of a clip of that so we can get a taste for it? Okay, I think I have a hard time sitting still to that. So I think that's going to be good moving music, journey music. Okay, before we get to the light behind the light, I would just like to mention some other things that are going on that we don't have images for, but for some reason we started talking back sometime in the summer about the Dark Sky Park, which was just designated in February as a Dark Sky Park just over by Vandalia, the Dr. Lawless Park. And that's a park that's been there for a while. And they just got their designation. It's a Dark Sky Park. It's not as intense as places like the Headlands where it's really, you're really kind of separated out from where you park and where you view. It's very small. It's maybe a few hundred yards to walk from where you park to where you would observe the skies. And they generally have a volunteer there on their viewing nights. They don't have viewings every night, but they have designated nights. And the next one, once we finally got around to trying to figure out what we were going to do and contacted the park, they were very excited about it. And the next opportunity was this Friday night. And so we're hoping for clear skies. We know it's going to be a little bit chilly, but we're going to do our best to keep our musician, Josh Holcomb, who will be playing violin and using a looper. We're going to do our best to keep him warm enough to move his fingers, which should be possible. And the idea is to have music for a couple hours between 7 and 9, and then the viewing. And if you're interested in coming, just keep an eye on our social media, our website, and just to make sure that unfortunately, if it's cloudy, they'll cancel the Dark Sky event. We might still do the concert, but that's sort of in flux. And what's been kind of interesting about this fall is that so many things just kind of pop up. And then speaking of pop-ups, there will be a couple of events, some music down on the mall tomorrow and Saturday. So we're looking at tomorrow noon and Saturday at 2. Just strolling the mall downtown. Again, the idea of providing music for people to appreciate that's live and safe, and also providing funds to our area musicians so that they, because, you know, there's an awful lot that's been canceled for all of us as performing musicians. Okay, and then also in November, we're hoping to do some live streams, and they will be absolutely live. The funds that I'm aware of that are available for this cannot allow any recording. So we'll make sure when we're doing that we make a big noise about that so that people will know when that's going to happen. Okay, but the last thing that we were going to cover here now is what is already installed at the Kalamazoo Valley Museum. And it will be a wonderful thing, interactive sculpture, sound sculpture for people to experience when the museum does open. And There's video projections. There's a series of screens that are literally like your window screen type material that you can walk amongst. And as you touch those screens, and I know touch is a scary word, I'll get to that in a second, but as you touch those screens, they excite various sounds in the room. And Beth Bradfish created this. I've known Beth for a long time. We were members of the Chicago Composers Consortium together. And some of her sound sculptures I've experienced, the things that you can actually sit on and feel the vibrations, and it's just really, really cool stuff. And so we actually were hoping to have one of her pieces last fall, but couldn't get a venue that was good for housing it, that was available. So we set up this relationship with the Kalamazoo Valley Museum. This installation is there. It will be there when they open. And the touching the screen business, we've been thinking about popsicle sticks. Because actually, if we give you 2 popsicle sticks and a toothpick and a rubber band, you can then take it home and make a kazoo out of it. So we're thinking that that's one way to deal with that. And here is some pictures of the installation of it that Beth kindly gave us. And she's been working most of the summer on this. And imagine, we didn't know, we were hoping October opening. That hasn't happened yet. But we've then kind of changed our approach to what we're going to do. We were hoping for one day it was going to be this Saturday, when we would have a series of small performances, having musicians interact with the installation. And so instead of doing that, though, one of the things she wanted to do was have cello with it. She was always planning to have me play with it. So a couple of Wednesdays ago, I went in and brought my cello and looked to see how I interacted with it, how we could mic me and take my sounds and process them. And so we have, this is just some footing from that day that we just shot to have. And also we're going to, on October 25th, we're going to do a behind the scenes Zoom with Beth to talk about the installation and about the music. And we also are planning to create an actual concert with me playing and percussionist also playing separate solo pieces, and hopefully a duo as well. And that should be part of the Chicago's Experimental Sound Studios Quarantine Concert Series, which is a very big popular series that's going on. And that probably is going to be either November 20th or 21st. So we're going to have a nice broadcast of that, but we're going to have the behind the scenes Zoom on October 25th coming up. So yeah, play a little bit of what it sounds like when you unleash a cellist. Okay, and I can tell you, I could do that all day. That was just so much fun. And I just want to also read Beth's statement about this. She calls this light behind the light. And she says, there is a light behind the light. We know the light, it flows through the window, but like the filtered light of a shoji screen that slips open, we can see more. There is light behind the light, more than we can take in at first glance. We live protected now, masks, distance, sheltered. Relationships change. Some become more distant, some closer. We learn about each other in new ways. Perhaps at times we can see more with more light, more love. The audience and visitors will experience sound vibrating through screens and glass, the sounds of spring in Michigan, in particular this spring when we were sheltered and looking out through the glass and screens of our windows at home. There will also be a performance, cello and drums, that will be a collaboration with the installation. The screens and glass will have electronics attached that transform them into speakers of sorts, allowing visitors to feel vibrations as well as hear them. The screens also function as percussion instruments musicians can play. It says, my intention for a moment, we can come together and consider how well the world was connected during a difficult time of isolation and distancing. So when we look forward to the time when people can come in and experience that. And also just another, I'd like to thank Jessica and the KIA for having us on this. And just a reminder, we're just kind of doing what we can figure out and think of as it comes along, and check our website and see what other crazy ideas we might have come up with in the last week or so. Because and right now we do have these pop-ups that literally I was arranging this morning. So that's why I'm saying pretty sure check out them all in a couple of days. Okay. So are there any questions that are coming through here?
This is Jessica, and I would just like to add, Betsy mentioned that there are more of these Unveiling American Genius musical pieces that you have not yet gotten to hear, but that you will get to hear them in the galleries. So when the show is open, there will be a QR code on the labels, and you can use your camera on your phone to read the QR code, and it will open a window. So if you are interested in hearing more of these works, you should bring some headphones with you to the galleries so that you can listen to them. And I'm really excited because that little teaser that you gave us was really fabulous.
Yeah, well, there is an amazing amount of creative musical energy in this town, and sometimes we don't get to hear as much of it as we probably should. And actually, I learned of some people I didn't know of. I had not heard music by Monica or Helen. I didn't even know Helen was here. So so very, very cool for me too, to expand my local horizons.
Yes, so this is the portion where if anybody has any questions, you can either put them in the chat box and we will read them out loud, or you can unmute yourself and ask directly.
So I was either comprehensive or baffling.
Okay, so there is in the chat box, which website do you need to visit?
Okay, and yeah, Eric has put out there mfsm.us. Yeah, ccmusicfest.com is a lot easier to say and be understood. That's actually, we have some spots on WMUK this week, and we opted for, since we're calling it Connecting Chords Music Festival, that flows into ccmusicfest.com pretty easily. So either one will take you to the same place.
And for the people in the audience who are maybe writing down the website as Betsy was saying it out loud, you can also find it in the chat box.
Yeah, and I have to, one of the big turning point in June, really, I have to attribute to our board chair, because, you know, back then we were kind of, I was paralyzed. I was watching everything I do get canceled, and just trying to figure out when can we do what we do. And Bo said, you know, even if in November they say we can have a concert, I'm not sure that I want to invite people in. And that just, it was finally like, okay, then we'll stop worrying about that, and we'll just think about, rather than what we can't do, we'll think about what we can. And it's been really exciting and freeing in a sense. But I have to say, I did just participate in a live stream concert from a venue in Chicago, and boy, was it nice to play for, that was Saturday night, just to play for a small socially distanced audience and the larger audience out there, you know, to actually be playing live rather than recording to be put out there at a different time. That was really, we missed that for sure. Okay.
Okay. Questions. Do make sure to check out the Connecting Chords Music Festival website. See some of the really exciting things that are happening here in Kalamazoo. To Lori, the KIA opening of Unveiling American Genius, it's been delayed by some COVID-related shipping issues. So keep an eye on our website, which I can also put in the chat box, but it's www.kiarts.org to see when that will be announced. We have high hopes that it will be soon. But yes, thank you to everybody that came out. Thank you so much to Betsy for talking with us today, and to Eric for being on the back end, showing the images and playing the clips. And yeah, unless there are any more questions, then we can go ahead and end this meeting for all. And thank you all to all who have come and who have participated. And I hope you have a great rest of your Tuesdays.
Thank you.
All right. Goodbye, everybody.